I declare this celebration open.
Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you. What a great crowd we've got this afternoon. So look, it's a pleasure to see you all here, and thank you very much for coming. And of course, we're here to recognise the success of our class of 2020. Yeah, not bad. We'll see if we can do a little bit better as the ceremony goes on. So look, clearly it's not a normal degree ceremony, and of course it's not been a normal year. The pandemic, of course, has impacted on all our lives in ways that we couldn't have imagined 18 months ago. So you'll all have memories, of course, of last summer and how our campus community moved almost entirely online. It wasn't the conclusion to your degrees that you wanted. It wasn't the conclusion to your degrees that we wanted for you either. But I think in the most challenging of circumstances, you showed resilience, ingenuity, tenacity, all the hallmarks of a great Birmingham graduate to overcome many of the challenges to complete your degrees. So I think, of course, you should be extremely proud of everything that you've achieved. Congratulations. So graduations, of course, are defining moments in the university's calendar. And of course, we celebrated with you online last summer, but you'll know too that we had in mind the invitation for you to come back and celebrate your achievements in person. So I hope that you're pleased to be here. It's a good opportunity to catch up and be reunited with some of your colleagues, your friends, and your family. And I know this clearly isn't the Great Hall, it is perhaps the Great Marquee, but we're very pleased to have you here nonetheless, recognising and celebrating your achievements. So of course, in this past 18 months, the university has had to step up too and play its part in the nation's response to the crisis. So our researchers have developed new tests to detect COVID, new medical interventions for those suffering from it, and we've contributed to the understanding of the disease so that we might better deal with it. And you've all played your part too, supporting vulnerable members of the community in Selly Oak and in your own communities further afield. Some have distributed food and medicine to those most in need. Some have volunteered in test centres, helped friends and neighbours, and found ways to adapt and respond to the enormously challenging circumstances. So this student response to the pandemic, which you began in 2020, has continued, of course, and we are extremely grateful and full of admiration for the ways in which our students have continued to support communities around us and indeed support themselves. So you came to Birmingham, of course, because you wanted to come to a great place of learning. You wanted to test yourselves, you wanted to equip yourselves for your next phase of your life. And of course, your experience won't have been what you were expecting. But nonetheless, you are here today, having overcome many barriers and having achieved your goals nonetheless. So these degree ceremonies in the Green Heart are, of course, a first for us. However, we, of course, have a history of firsts. This was the first campus university, the first university to incorporate a medical school, to allow female students to take medical degrees, and to create a Women's Hall of Residence. And more recently, the university was the first to open a secondary school, the first to establish a Peer 2 testing laboratory for COVID-19. And this may well be a first for you too. You may be the first in your family to graduate, the first to study in this country, or the first to achieve a postgraduate qualification. And some of you will be the first to make a particular discovery in some area of doctoral research. And of course, you are all the first to graduate through a global pandemic. I think the disciplines in which you are graduating will have taught you many foundational skills, which you'll now be applying, of course, to work or further study. You are well prepared, I think, for what comes next, and you should feel confident in your ability to face challenges and opportunities to come. Use these skills well. Work hard. Take opportunities as they arise. If someone asks, say yes, and I think remember to help and support those around you, whatever your line of work. So, for most of you, of course, last summer will have marked the end of one kind of relationship with the university and the start of a new one. You are now a member of a distinguished family, a member of a club with over 300,000 members in 170 countries worldwide. So many congratulations, of course, of becoming an alumni of the University of Birmingham. So our alumni engage in an astonishing array of projects and professions, and we look forward to witnessing your own achievements and successes in the years to come. Keep in touch with us, and of course, we promise to keep in touch with you too. So you, and I think those around you, have many reasons to be proud today. Many congratulations to you all, and good luck and good fortune in what's to come ahead. Congratulations to you all. So I now have the pleasure of passing over to Marcel Wibawa, one of our student representatives and a recent law graduate from the University of Birmingham. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Jarvis. Good afternoon, class of 2020. It's so nice to see you all here today, though I'm a bit sad that old Joe's hands can't be with us. I'm more than a year late when saying this, but many congratulations on graduating from your respective courses. As a cohort, our time at the University of Birmingham was abruptly cut short, right at the very end. I still remember how everything changed within a few days and how hard it was to cope with the uncertainty. This is why all of you deserve to be celebrated, more so than any one day or event can do, because of how you managed to thrive amidst the toughest of times. As we move on from university, it's important to reflect on what we have learned from the experience so that we can approach real-world problems with some foresight. I want to quickly share 2 takeaways from my time here. The first is accepting that some things are out of my control. I can't predict when a pandemic might end, but what I can do is adapt to online learning, for example. I learned to focus on the things that I can control because everything else is out of my hands. The second thing is to cherish the friends, family, and loved ones you have around you, which is why it is so great to see many of you here today, and I'm sure there are many more tuning in online, including my parents who are halfway across the world. All of you were the pillars of strength we needed, and today is also a reminder of your unwavering presence. I speak for all graduates when I say that going through university would have been a lot harder if not for your support, patience, and endless bickering. So, thank you. In terms of next steps, some of you have already started building your career over the last year. Some are still taking the necessary time to figure out the road ahead. There's no proper timescale, and I urge you all to keep going. Do something that you can be proud of, because there really is no limit to what you can all achieve. The only challenge that I have for my fellow graduates today is to give back to those who have given you so much. This can be your loved ones, your local community, or the planet. Individually, all of you are capable of changing the lives of those around you. Collectively, we have the skill set to find the solutions that our generation needs. Higher education is a privilege, and so I ask that you all use that to empower others along the way. Class of 2020, it has been the honor of a lifetime to share this campus with you, and I wish you all the best going forward. Thank you. Thank you. I will now give the floor to our next student speaker, Sarah Jane Goodman. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcel. I'm also honoured to be here today to say a few words on behalf of the class of 2020. I know many of us have been looking forward to this day since we got our acceptance letters to the University of Birmingham. It seems like a lifetime ago that we walked through this campus as freshers with no idea of what the next few years would involve. For many of us, our journey has involved making new friends, late nights, mostly studying, but sometimes more social activities, and lots of freedom and fun. However, as Marcel said, when the pandemic hit, we had to resort to online learning, catch-ups via Zoom, and a knock to our independence. Now that restrictions are lifting, I'm grateful to be able to reunite with friends today and celebrate our achievements and memories that have been made here at the University of Birmingham. Currently, my younger brother is preparing to start his time here, and I find myself reflecting on the things I will miss about campus and my university experience. I'm sure none of us will miss the late nights before exams cramming in the library or the student housing in Selly Oak. I certainly won't miss being dragged out of bed by my friends to make the 9 a.m. lectures or figuring out how to use the Oscala referencing system. However, I will miss walking around our beautiful campus and seeing old Joe, hopefully with his hands back soon. I will miss living on the same street as my best friends and that feeling of relief and joy when exam season is over. And I will miss living in the state of limbo before we become adults and join the real world. We'll each have our own personal highlights of our time here, but I think I speak for all of us when I say that what I will miss the most is the incredible people that I've met here. In my first class in 2017, I was placed in a group with 4 other law students, and I stand here today 4 years later, and those girls have become my best friends. For many of us, living away from home and going to university means that our friends become our family, so it only seems right that today is about celebrating our own wins, but also our collective achievements and the lifelong friendships that have been made here on this campus. On behalf of the cohort for 2020, I would like to say a huge thank you to the university for today's celebrations and being able to do it in person. I would also like to thank the incredible tutors and lecturers who offered support and guidance throughout our degrees. Finally, I would like to thank our loved ones for their support and encouragement, particularly during the last year, as we've often heard described as these unprecedented times. On a personal note, I'd like to thank my family here in England who gave me a home away from home when I needed to escape student housing. I'd also like to thank my parents who, like many of us I'm sure, I relied upon for both emotional and financial support. I can't begin to describe how grateful I am for everything they do for me, but fortunately I know a lot of us feel the same about our loved ones. So on behalf of our cohort, I'd like to say thank you for your unwavering support and for being here to celebrate with us today. I know the pandemic has meant that our celebrations are much later than anticipated, but in my eyes, the wait was definitely worth it to be able to celebrate together in person. My hope for everyone here is that we can have a great graduation day today and look back on it as a great conclusion to our University of Birmingham journey. Thank you.
So I get the tough gig, which is to follow our students and our graduates, which is always the toughest of them all. So thank you, Marcel and Sarah Jane, for that, and good afternoon to you all. As Pro-Vice Chancellor, it's my pleasure to join you today to close this event. So as we gather to mark your achievements during your time at the University of Birmingham, you'll no doubt remember the first day you came to study here, as some of our speakers have mentioned. It's worth thinking back to how you felt on that day, and also how much you've changed since then, which you might not notice so much, but those around you certainly will. From that moment onwards, you met new people, developed new ideas, and overcame new challenges. You grew intellectually, academically, and personally. Now, today, you have spent more than a year as graduates and as alumni of the University of Birmingham. The hard work paid off, and you now stand before us with new identities and experiences as professionals, as educators, as researchers, or as ever more accomplished scholars. Whatever path you've taken since graduating, we're delighted to have you back on campus with us. It's an enormous privilege for me to be able to congratulate you and feel the joy here in this room as you celebrate your graduation. In the jargon, you are roomies, not zoomies, and thank goodness for that. Your success serves as a testament to the great students of this great university, and you should all be as proud of yourselves as we are. For those of you who have begun or continued your working lives since graduation, you've entered one of the most difficult job markets in living memory. To those who've entered their chosen profession already, well done. You have our admiration and congratulations. To those who are yet to do so, don't lose heart. You're a Birmingham graduate, and a degree from Birmingham is not easily obtained. It's valued by the country's top employers, who recognise that this university provides you with an outstanding education, equipping you with the intellectual curiosity, confidence, knowledge, and transferable skills required to thrive in your careers and to make a difference in the world, as Marcel pointed out. You're already a high achiever, and while there will always be challenges, there will sometimes be setbacks, but we have no doubt that you will make a success of the task that you set yourself. Birmingham graduates have always been characterised by their perseverance, tenacity, and personal resilience. Yet, as the graduating class of 2020, your resilience has matched and in many cases exceeded that of anything that's gone before. Many of you will have faced significant personal challenges, whether you recovered from COVID-19 yourself, spent periods self-isolating, coped with studying or working from home, or took on extra caring responsibilities. Some of you will have experienced the sadness of a personal loss. You will know the ways in which the pandemic has affected you personally, and you should be proud of all that you've accomplished in the face of adversity. Don't forget the character you've shown. Instead, draw on it as a strength. You've seen your way through uncertain and difficult times, so whatever challenges you face in the future, you'll be as well placed as anyone to meet them. As a graduate of this university, you've gone out into a world that desperately needs you. It's a world that you can help to make, reshape, and remake, a world that needs the kinds of skills, abilities, and commitment that characterise University of Birmingham students and graduates. The university's motto speaks of this, per ardua ad alta, which means through great efforts to high things. Your great efforts have already brought you high and great things, the degrees we celebrate today. But your efforts will now take you to new places and to still greater heights. You will test yourselves, prove yourselves, and together we will rebuild the world for a better future for us all. In doing so, you'll be following a long and proud tradition. The university was founded with a clear vision of changing the city of Birmingham and the lives of those living and studying within it. And we have a long and proud history of philanthropy. Our founder, Joseph Chamberlain, set about raising the money required in order to build this university, and of course our famous clock tower, who has been mentioned more times than anything else in this speech, these speeches, I think. More than 100 years later, we're continuing to fulfill this vision of transforming lives with our fundraising and volunteering campaign, Birmingham in Action. It's an ambitious and innovative campaign which is offering life-changing opportunities for young people regardless of their background, and is already supporting a broad range of groundbreaking research projects that will transform the world for future generations. As alumni of this university, we hope it's a campaign you can be proud of, and I would encourage you to join many others from across our community by getting involved, sharing its impact, and becoming part of it as your careers unfold. In this way, you will help to change the lives of future generations of Birmingham students who will be experiencing the same feeling of celebration and achievement in years to come. Wherever you find yourselves in the world, you can be assured you will always be part of the Birmingham family. We hope to welcome you back again in the future, whether that's for further study, to mentor a student, and I can't emphasise enough how much our students value being mentored by an alumnus, to come to an event, or simply to reunite with friends and enjoy the Green Heart as we are today. Know that we will be here always to provide you with advice, to support you, and to celebrate with you as your lives and careers develop. So as we draw this celebration to a close, and you look forward to celebrating further with family and friends, and the sun just came out, which is worth noting, let me thank you for everything you've given to us and to each other during your studies with us, and all that you have continued to do since graduation. The University of Birmingham would not exist but for its remarkable students and alumni. Each of you has made your own contribution to this institution and left a legacy for the benefit of future generations. As you continue into your next chapter, I wish each of you every success and trust that your experiences here at the university will continue to shape your lives. The graduating classes of 2020 and indeed 2021 have had experiences like no other, and I believe you are now uniquely placed to question, to challenge, and to change the world for the better. I really hope the world is ready for you. Thank you. I declare the celebration closed.